I have to introduce again. Okay, eventually I'm going to get this right. This is Tea Time with Robyn. She's T, I'm Robyn, and we talk about Buffalo Bills football a lot. And mostly that's what we talk about. Although I will say,
Oh, the
Buffalo,
Sabres are doing well. What's
we,
that? 3 straight, right? Or something like that?
we're straight.
4 straight? That's what's up. Love it, love it. And I was supposed to wear mine today, and I totally forgot. I'll wear it next week. Absolutely. Well, I'll wear it next week. But like Robyn said, this is Tea Time with Robyn. I am T. She is Robyn. We are here. We're on the Building Buffalo Network. Go over there and check out some amazing content. I don't know if it's Monday through Sunday because it's the off season, but I'm pretty sure there's something going on over there. There's a lot of content. Yes. But today we're going to discuss some things that happened at the combine. And should the combine be mandatory? So the combine happened last week, and free agency is going to be happening next week. And I'm hearing last week at the combine, some players are sitting out and waiting for their pro day. My question to you, Robyn, should the combine be mandatory because you're going to be drafted to the NFL? Should be one of the pieces also for these NFL pro or potential NFL players.
I don't know if the combine should be mandatory as a whole, but I will say this. If you're going to participate in the combine at all, in my view, you participate in everything. You don't get to pick and choose, well, I'm not going to run the 40 or I'm not going to do this or blah, 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 blah. Because if you're there, you should be participating in everything. And in fact, some guys don't participate at all and they show up.
Right.
It's like, what are you doing there? Okay, I get it that part of the reason for the combine is so that there can be networking among coaches and all that sort of thing. But at the same time, there should be some structure to it. Right now, it's a free-for-all. Oh, you're going to go? Are you not going to go? If you're going to go, are you going to participate in everything? Are you going to not participate in everything? That's too crazy for me. I think either you participate or you don't.
All right. What's up, Sandra? Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. Sandra. Appreciate you always. Love you. See, I think it should. I don't know. I'm on your side, but I'm also thinking that it should be mandatory because I think there's just a lot of in college you're getting paid. I don't know. I don't.
It's a mess now, isn't it?
Call me a person who's get off my lawn, right? So I think these kids, some of these kids are very entitled, and I think that
they are.
You should participate. I mean, and I'm.
You want to be drafted, right?
Right.
I mean, I think I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. You know, the purpose of the whole thing was to make things convenient for teams, right? Now it's based on an invitation, right? Okay. Well, they could do it differently. They could find a different way to do it. But I'm of the belief that if you show up, you do it all.
And based on what he just said there, if it's based on invitation and then you get the invitation and you still don't participate, what are we doing here?
And so these guys that think they're so elite get to have their own pro days.
You're not elite. You are not even in the NFL.
There you go.
I don't understand how you get so
entitled.
Thank you, because I don't want to use it again, but I will. Thank you. So you're entitled when you haven't even touched the NFL. You might have been great in college because we've seen a lot of college kids that come out and are just busts in the NFL. So
exactly.
I mean,
and we've seen a lot of people that were fairly average and undrafted become Hall of Fame players.
Right. Exactly.
It's not a perfect science, that's for sure. But yes, the entitlement thing is only going to get worse now that they're all making a bunch of money.
Yeah, and also too in college, with the
That's what I
NLL, what
mean.
is it, NA, in whatever they call it.
NIL.
Thank you. They're making, like, some kids don't even want to come out early because of the money situation, because they'll make more money in college than they would in the NFL. So I don't know. I just seen that, and it was just because I think the combine was underwhelming this year. And I mean, even though, speaking of the combine and speaking of underwhelming, this guy wasn't. Sonny Styles was not underwhelming. Actually, he was maybe one of the highlights of the combine. Freaking A. This dude, I don't know if he will be at 20. We're 26. I don't think he will fall to the Buffalo Bills, because I think the Chiefs need a linebacker. They also need that. Chiefs needs a lot, but there's a lot of teams that need a particular position, and I don't see him falling to the Bills. But he might be.
6'5", 244 pounds, a 43.5-inch vertical.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. 4.4940, 4.4740. This guy was outstanding. And with linebackers, it's more see ball, get ball kind of position. And so I think it's usually a little easier to project linebackers in college that are going to translate to linebackers in the NFL.
Right.
But just be my observation, whatever.
Right. And speaking of linebackers, and I didn't have this in our notes, but did you just see Bernard? He had surgery on his ankle. Yeah.
Did. So that explains a lot in terms of what was going on with him last season. But I don't want to go through that again. And I'm not sure. I mean, I can dream between now and the draft. I can dream that we are drafting Sonny Styles.
And apparently his brother is also great as well.
Oh, yeah. Arvell Reese. I like him. There's plenty of linebackers between the draft and free agency. I don't have any worry that we're going to be able to pick up a few linebackers to restack the table.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be fine there. Okay. Shout out to Robbie. Hey, Robbie.
Hey, Robbie.
Hi, nice to see you guys.
Yes, for sure. All right, let's get on to Joe Brady and what he had to say on the defensive side of the ball and his presser at the combine. You can start that off, Robyn.
Well, I thought he had a very interesting press conference, and I'm beginning to see a little bit about Joe Brady, learning a little bit about him his personality as a head coach. He seems to be the kind of guy who wants to get ahead of the narratives, and I appreciate that about him. But he made a couple of comments that I thought were very interesting in terms of, and we talked about this last week, bringing on John Fox. Former head coach for 16 years, a guy that's played in the Super Bowl. He's coached in the Super Bowl twice. John Fox, I think, is a really wise choice because he's going to be more than just a yes man. He's always been the kind of person who, at least from my point of view of observing him in press conferences, he's always been kind of a straight shooter. And I would imagine that he's going to be someone who Joe Brady can really rely upon in terms of not just coaching from a distance, but coaching hands-on,
right,
with Leonard. So I'm all over this. I think having John Fox is a great addition. And he also mentioned that he had followed Jim Leonard all the way back to his days at Wisconsin. Joe Brady did, looking for people who are not like me. I liked that comment. I'm looking for someone who is not like me. I don't want a bunch of Joe Brady clones. And I think that's very wise. And also in terms of what he looks for in football players, he doesn't say things the same way that Sean McDermott did, but he does. If you listen to him talk about personality in terms of what he's looking for in players. He has repeatedly said this. I want football players. I want players who love to play football.
What does that
mean?
Yeah.
I think what it means is that they have a passion for what they're doing. They're not in it for just the money. Okay. They love to play the game. If you look at somebody like Josh Allen, he is a football player. He is a player. He loves the game of football. He loves playing it. There are players that you see out there who are trying not to get hurt so that they can cash in on their next contract or whatever. These are the people that I think Joe Brady is talking about staying away from. But the other thing, he never says this. He's not looking for choir boys. Okay.
Good. Because that's what we were looking for. And you know that. Like what's the name? LaShawn? No. What's the name? Marshawn Lynch wasn't a choir boy, but he was a football player. And they let him go. Because back then, that's what the Buffalo Bills was. I don't want any of that stuff. I don't want any outside distractions. I want the button up. Yeah, it's like, no, I don't care about any of that.
Exactly. So, what were your thoughts about that presser?
For me, Joe Brady. I'm a person where this is all talk for me. You know what I mean? That's off season right now. We're going to get into some of that as well. All of that is just talk for me. I like the pressures, but also too, I just think it's just food salad, mouth salad. You guys are just talking to talk. You know what I mean? What I like. I want my defense to be this. I have a vision. I want my personnel. Yeah, I want my personnel to be that. I want this. And I'm like, I'm good with all of that. I don't see the vision because I don't see it right now in front of us. I don't see you guys playing. But if the personnel is different than what it was with Sean McDermott, okay. I know also, too, that this defense is going to be revamped. Things are going to be moved around. We're going to get different players. The board is going to be different because I know the board was probably set with Sean McDermott. It's not set because now you have Joe Brady and the vision and the 3-4 and all of that. Do we have the guys to do this? So much. I don't know. So for me, it's just word salad, but I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what Joe Brady can do and his staff. Mm-hmm. I have a question for you. Did you watch Eric Wood's interview on Aaron Kromer?
Oh, yes.
Right?
Oh.
He's a bunch of knowledge. Aaron Kromer is, again, I said this to you before. I would love to sit him down and have a conversation with him.
Oh, my God.
Because the way, the knowledge that pours out of him, and he's just so laid back and just, I want to see what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, hand placement for him and for some of these guys.
Unpretentious.
He told a story.
Unpretentious.
That it was someone coaching him and he said, why are you trying to teach them the same way? And he was like, you know what? You're so right. He said, and ever since then, I taught everyone differently. Yeah.
And that's what I'm glad that we have a new offensive line coach that worked with him. And the assistant offensive line coach worked with him. Mm-hmm. And so there will be a lot of continuity in the way that they coach. Yeah. And that's a big relief to me. Because when we heard that he was retiring, I
went berserk. I didn't care about Sean McDermott at all. I said, wait a minute. Where is Aaron going? Why is he leaving? And this was prior to Sean being fired. He put in he said he was retiring like the next day. It was like, wait, okay. If he's gone, so is his assistant gone too? Because I want that guy.
Exactly.
Because he worked underneath him. And I'm like, all right, he sees, they talk, they're in the rooms, he knows these guys, and we can't lose both of them. And going on to that, because this also wasn't on there, how comfortable do you feel, and are you, if we lose the center and the guard?
Well, I've not comfortable, obviously, because we've had a solid offensive line for the last couple of years that has been rock solid across the board. Now we have question marks. Can we retain one of them? Can we retain both of them? David Edwards or Connor McDavid, or excuse me, Connor McGovern.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that we're going to be able to keep either one of them, to be honest. And I guess if you're going to make the change, we do have one thing that makes me feel a little more comfortable is I think Alec Anderson could step in at left guard and do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I don't want him as center for sure.
No, he's too hot-headed. Eric Wood was talking about that. You want a personality of somebody who's calmer and more in control, and that is not Alec Anderson. But at left guard, I think that he would do a very good job. So I feel like if we lose both of them, it's not a tragedy. We also have Cedric Van Pran Granger, who's been sitting in the, waiting in the wings for the last couple of years. And I don't know that I would want to have two rookies, like if they drafted a left guard and a center.
Yeah, no.
I don't think so.
You see how that worked out for the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Precisely. So yeah.
All right, sticking on to the offensive side of the ball. Dalton Kincaid opted out for his knee surgery. The Buffalo Bills is giving him his 5th-year option. They want him to be a bit heavier this year. Even last year, they talked about Dalton Kincaid being a bit heavier, and I didn't see it. People said they've seen it. I personally didn't see it. I don't know about this Dalton Kincaid move, me personally. He said he feels great. He was on Mitch Morris' podcast and said he feels great. Yeah, you got to go back and watch. It's a good interview with Mitch Morris. I don't know. Dalton Kincaid, to me, I thought he was going to be this different player when he came in. And I don't know if I don't want to call him a bust or injury prone.
That PCL.
Why didn't you get the surgery, dude? Come on. Why didn't you get the surgery?
I don't understand.
Because it was 2 years in a row. They're on account, they're in practice. He can't do too much because, of his knee. If you would have got it that first year, you would have been fine going into this year. They don't want to do it this year because he won't be ready for the start of the season. Yeah.
I don't know what to say about it.
I know, exactly.
I'm really at a loss for words because it doesn't make sense to me that you would not have surgery to fix something that has been bothering you since you've been in the NFL. Basically,
the last 2 seasons, right?
Even before that, I think that he came in with a dinged up PCL.
Oh no, you're right. He did. You're right. Yes, you're right.
So this has been going on for a while, and I'm like, what are we waiting for? Mm-hmm. And we can't use him the way we want to use him because we have to save him for the playoffs. We have to save him. Lose me with that stuff.
Yeah. And you're right, John. I think this is going to be a reason why I think Dawson Knox stays, because of you can't rely on Dalton Kincaid to be healthy. Like, imagine if we didn't have Dawson Knox last year.
Yeah.
You're not going to rely on a rookie. And nothing against Jackson Hawes.
Like we had a healthy Kincaid and Knox and Jackson Hawes.
Yes. That's how, to be quite honest with you, I love our tight end position room. Yes. I love it. I'm not going to say they're right. They're like one of the exactly. Speaking of money, that Sean McDermott said that Spencer Brown, his contract will save. They restructured his contract, save up $10 million this year, which they're going to need for sure. I'm glad they did this and not Deion Dawkins.
Well, they're starting with the most solidified position first, I think, because Spencer Brown isn't going anywhere.
Right. And and maybe they will do Deion Dawkins. Me personally, I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't touch it again. But, they might.
I would be happy if they didn't as well, but they might have to. Right. It just depends on who they plan on bringing in. But I was so glad to see them extend Spencer Brown. Spencer Brown is always going to have a bad back.
He's just so tall.
He's so too tall. That's his username on X, too tall. And he is because he's so tall. His lower back is always going to be a problem for him. But he managed to stay relatively healthy throughout the season. And that's a big plus for us. If he can stay healthy, that's a big plus for us.
You remember when he came in?
Excuse me for interrupting you.
No, you're good.
But he's so grossly underrated. It really pisses me off because if he was on any other team, they would be talking about Spencer Brown.
Yes.
All the time.
Absolutely. And speaking of that, you remember when he first came in as a rookie and when he was out of the lineup, how we played. Yep. And when he got back in the lineup, how they played. It's like, oh, you're talking about this rookie is the reason why the O-line plays well. Yes. Absolutely.
I was laughing about his rookie year when he popped a beer and guzzled it.
Yeah. And then he got fined for it.
He said it was money well spent.
Yes, absolutely.
Expensive beer, but it was well spent.
Oh, I know this is true. I didn't know that. Spencer Brown didn't allow a sack. Spencer Brown didn't allow a sack this year.
Oh, John. Whoa. I didn't know that either. Thank you, John.
Thank you, John. I love our listeners, right? He's always bringing something.
And he also said Jackson Hawes will probably he better be used more. He needs to be used more.
He definitely does. He
needs to be out on the field because he's an ass-kicking blocker.
Also, too, speaking of ass-kicking blockers, Reggie Gillian needs to be re-signed as well. I just think it's a matter of time before they do some of these moves. The good thing about the players that were on this team and were good and is good is that Joe Brady knows them. Yeah. Just imagine having a new head coach and just saying, I don't want any of these guys.
Yeah. And then have to restructure everything and retool the whole roster. And in offense, they don't even have to learn a new system. That's nice.
Right.
That can't be overstated in terms of how important it is.
I just looked this up and I want to kind of do a pod on it. Josh Allen had 4 OCs in his career. 4 different OCs.
Okay.
That's insane.
It is. And that's why you don't want that constant turnover. And that was a big selling point for Joe Brady being our head coach.
Right.
Instead of not having to go through another complete offensive change. I think it's about time that Josh Allen have some continuity on offense. Because he hasn't.
I want to do that. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say he hasn't had continuity with wide receivers either. Every year they bring in a whole staff of wide receivers.
That's what I want to talk. That's a pod I want to do with you. I want to do Josh Allen. I want to do Josh Allen haven't had any elite wide receivers. I want to talk about that. And running backs under Josh Allen. So that kind of the offense skill set with Josh Allen, because I'm just hearing Josh Allen does never have any help. And I'm really probably tired of hearing that. So I just want to do some digging, and I want to have the conversation with you and this off season, of course, just to have the conversation. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But speaking of offense and Josh Allen not having any wide receivers, Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman also was mentioned at the combine, and Joe Brady and Bean did the word salad again and said that he had an outstanding offseason last year and just want him to feed off that. You know, the combination of him sleeping in, being late, everything else that happened. He wants him to mature on the field. And then Joe Brady said this: the best thing that happened to Keon Coleman is me being the head coach. Joe, were you there last year?
What?
Joe, weren't you the OC last year? Like, what does that mean, Robyn?
I don't know. What? Okay. Maybe he meant it. I'm trying to figure it out, but maybe he meant it in the sense that he knows Keon Coleman and somebody else coming in would just dump him, right? Like, oh, he's a bust, so he would be gone. So maybe that's what he meant. Maybe the best thing is me coming in because I know him and I know what he's capable of and blah, blah, whatever, blah. I don't know what he's capable of. I don't think anybody knows what he's capable of.
Oh, God. I'm so trying to give Keon Coleman grace. I really am. Because when you, again, I just spoke about it, the combine, the college kids coming into being elite, being entitled, all of that. I don't know if Keon came in being, and the whole presser that he came in, and I don't want to call him goofy, right? Just say he was a little bit immature with the code and the cookies, and that's all great. But there's a level where you have to level up and be a professional. And did we bank on Keon not being a professional? I think we all understood, like, kids coming from college going to a professional football team is going to take some adjustment.
Yep.
But this is year freaking 3 for him. And you got to grow up. When you have, and this never happens with the Buffalo Bills, like under Sean McDermott, like that. Other players don't come out and speak on your behalf or speak on the fact that you need to grow up. Like, you had Deion Dawkins backing you and saying you're going to see a whole different Keon than where he had to retract and say he needs to grow up.
Whoops.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to give him grace. This year, the grace, Keon, like he said, the best thing that's ever happened to Keon is Joe Brady being his head coach. Now, I want to see it. I think we all want to see him take a step to some magnitude.
Of some magnitude. Sandra says, maybe McDermott was holding the key is what he meant. Ask those healthy scratches and inactives. Those were on McDermott. Yeah, it's true. And so maybe there was an attitude issue between McDermott and Coleman. And maybe Joe Brady will be able to smooth things over and help him make that maturity step. Mm-hmm. Whereas McDermott pretty much lost patience with him. And
you could see that because you remember, and not to cut you off, you remember when Sean McDermott would get frustrated and pull Cooks out, and we're just like, where's Cook? Why is he not playing? Like, he fumbled the ball. Okay. But you
Coleman.
can't. You not even. No, it was Cooks. When Cooks would
Cooks.
fumble, he would take them out and
Yes.
wouldn't play them for like. Okay, lesson learned, Sean. Put him back in.
Put him back in. We need him.
Right.
And the messing around on offense, I think that was a problem for McDermott all the way through his tenure, trying to tell the offensive coordinators what to do.
Yeah.
I want to run the ball more when Dayball was there.
Yes.
Rick Dennison lasted 1 year and he was gone. And
micromanaging is crazy.
Very much so. And Joe Brady, if he's doing anything, I do see him delegating more than McDermott did, and that's good because he doesn't need to have his fingers in everything.
He's putting people in positions to win, right? And I'm not saying so much players. I'm saying coaches. If you don't know, then put people in positions that do, and you can learn from them. Sean McDermott was so micromanager where if I put you in a position, I'm still not giving you the rings to do it. I'm still going to be the be all say all when it comes to it. And for some, like they said, and it's not leakage, but you can hear when the players talk and say how comfortable they are now walking in the building. You can hear that. So they're not so afraid now to loosen their butt cheeks a little bit. You know what I mean? Brandon Beane, let's talk about it again. Some more mouth service. Teron Johnson moving to safety. What are we doing, Robyn?
Teron Johnson's not moving to safety. If he is moving to safety, be a depth piece. And he's getting paid too much money to be a depth piece. So come on. He could be a depth piece at his own position. I think it's time to do that. I think it's time to draft his replacement.
Or maybe it's already on a team. So when he was asked, he said nothing is off the table. We look at everything. We look at anything and everything to make the decision. He's a good football player, so we'll never want to rule anything out. Thinks he's a good position for Jim. I personally do not see Teron Johnson. I don't even see Teron Johnson on the freaking team this year. But
probably not. And like I said, only as a depth piece, but he would have to take a pay cut. Yeah. And he didn't play well enough this past year.
He didn't play well. You know what I love about what's up, Joey? What I love.
Joey, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Joey. What I love, but what I hate to mention, is that New England knows. They know how to come off a player. They know when it's time.
You mean like Stephon Diggs?
Right, yeah, that too. The Bills don't know when to let off a person. Well, he might have another year. No, he doesn't. We've seen it. If we've seen it as fans, and you're getting all the data, I know you see it as being in that organization. Teron, did you see Pat? Who was his name? What is his name? That used to play for the Jets. Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, and quote me if I'm wrong, guys. I know you'll do it in the chat. He loved Teron Johnson. He said he's one of the best football players as he's ever seen.
At his position in his prime, I would say the argument, but not now. Not after this past year. He got blown up how many times?
Wrong position, blown up. Like, what are we doing? Yeah, we got to come off Teron. I'm sorry. We got to come off of him. And you don't even know what Hancock could do. Even though Hancock was a rookie at the time, I'm willing to put Hancock back there. You drafted him for a reason.
You a training camp. Come on.
But then again, We don't know what this Jim Leonard's defense is going to be. And it's not going to be, it's going to be a big difference. It's not going to be something that's going to happen in one season. And we know that. So we're going to come on here every game because the defense is going to do something. And we're going to have to remind you guys that this is not something that's going to happen in one season. So when people get beat, when stuff happens, we're going to come on here because I'm going to be the person to say, Robyn, what the hell is going on with our defense? And she's going to remind me, T, it doesn't happen overnight. So
we got another year. We got to wait another year.
Right. They got to get their players in there.
Leonard even told us, he said the first year is not going to be the best year because we're going to be having to use players at positions that they're not particularly suited for. Mm-hmm. But the next year, it'll be full speed ahead. So yeah, we do have to be patient with the defense. And that's going to be hard to do because we have been patient for how long?
Yeah, I've been sewing a quilt. That's how patient I've been. And I'm tired of sewing the same quilt over and over again. But let's get into our spill the tea. We haven't done this in a minute, and I'm excited. We're going to spill some tea, y'all.
I got stuff to say.
Come on, just spill that. Come on, just spill that. Spill that tea for me. Spill my dirty tea. Yeah, tell me everything. Come on, just spill that.
Are you back on silent mode? No, you.
Oh, there I am. There I go. So we're gonna spill the tea. It is time to spill the tea. This is when Robyn and I give you some tea. So, also at the combine, all the pressures have been Josh Allen's contract. Well, we can't do this because Josh Allen's contract. I am so tired of hearing about Josh Allen's contract. It's like you're saying it's his fault that we can't make these
about all that dead cap space instead.
Yeah, right. Why, Robyn? What's the point of mentioning it?
Deflection completely, because he's deflecting away from the fact that the dead cap hit is hitting and it's hurting. And it's there because of how many mistakes have we made? Carrying over Von Miller, carrying over money from Joey Bosa this year. There's all kinds of money that has been spent that is now coming due. And I think it's deflection. Oh, yeah, we can't do it because of Josh Allen. No. We have a dead cap.
Wait. I'm just reading these comments, and I have to address this one.
Okay.
Sandra, are you kidding me?
Who?
Sandra, do you see what she wrote?
No. I can only see for beating a woman, Chef Nice got released from New England. Oh.
I didn't see. Sandra said, I don't see us making the playoffs. I'm sorry. I don't know why. You got to explain it, Sandra, because I don't understand that.
No, we'll make the playoffs. We might even take the division back.
I think
but I don't know.
Next week.
Yes, next week.
Next week will tell us a lot, right?
Yes.
And we're gonna talk about. We're gonna be on here next week to talk about what happens if they make any moves, right? But hopefully they will. But Sandra, I don't. A lot has to happen in order for us not to make the playoffs. I don't see that. I could be eating my words too, but I don't see that not happening. I don't see that happening at all.
Anything can happen. You could have a year where there's massive injuries and you just don't make it. That could happen for sure. I think there's still enough on defense pieces to put together, and we're not going to be playing the bend don't break crap anymore. So I think our defense is actually going to be better, even though Leonard says it's a 2-year project.
Yeah. I'm with you, Thomas. Bills win the division. The Patriots don't make the playoffs. Watch.
Well, that would be great.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. And listen, we understand the whole contract when it comes to Josh Allen. And if I was Josh Allen, I would kind of take it personal that you continue to say, well, with, Josh Allen's getting paid. Also, too, Josh Allen didn't take, like, he could have hit you over the head with a lot. He could have just been like, no, I want more. But he didn't. And he said, what's another $5 million to what I'm getting paid? And not even that. His contract doesn't even hit until I think this year or next year. So miss me with the whole, well, we paid our quarterback. You, and like you said, Robyn, it's just you're just trying to divert on what's really going on. It's that you're missing on these players and on the draft. Because if you would have hit on some of these wide receivers, we wouldn't be having this conversation about our wide receiver room, our tight end room, or what's going on. Or edge rushers. Thank you. Yeah, another miss that we miss every freaking time. I swear to God, we better not get freaking the dude from the Chargers because he's a Buffalo. He went to UB. What is his name? Mack. Khalil Mack. Oh, we better not get no Khalil Mack in here.
He's too old.
We love him though, Robyn. We love the old guys. We brought in Vaughn.
I love UB.
We brought in Joey Bosa.
But no, thank you. No.
No.
Gotta get younger at the position, and we have to build for the future.
And not even we have a different DC. So hopefully he's like, if you guys come to me about a Khalil Mack, we're gonna have a problem. I could see Sean McDermott saying, hey, Khalil Mack's available. Let's go get him. No.
Just say no.
Oh, so $64 million we owe Josh. We don't do nothing. I don't owe Josh nothing. They owe Josh. They could kick some of that down the road. But you know what? Again, stop mentioning your quarterback and the money that he's receiving. He earned that money. He deserves all of it. Now, if you don't know how to draft, if you don't know how to get these free agencies in here, I don't know what to tell you. At the deadline, you could have got Shaheed, and you refused not to get him. Now he's a free agent, and now you want to go back and get him. I know. I'm good. Like you should have got him when you got him. So, I don't know, Robyn. I don't know. But still, stop mentioning my man and his money. Again.
Yeah. Leave his money alone.
Leave his money
alone.
All
right, I'm done.
All right. Let me see in these comments and see if anybody got anything to say.
We missed in the draft. We missed him.
My goodness.
Yeah, it does, Joey.
Mike Evans, don't want him either. Sorry, guys. I don't want a 30-something who's always injured, hamstring, collarbone. He just broke his collarbone, did he not? I
believe so.
If that's the case, go and draft a wide receiver. Draft a wide receiver. But I'll say this. I'll say who I want in free agency, and he's not being mentioned. I don't know why he's not being mentioned. I want Michael Pittman Jr. That's who I want.
Oh, is he available?
From Indy. I think he's available. Yeah, he's up for a contract. I want him. I know everybody want Alec Pierce. I want the other guy. So that's who I want. Somebody said Khalil Mack is Von Miller 3.2.
Joey. True.
So true. And on that note, I think we're gonna be out of here. Thank you guys. Thank you, John, for that. That was hilarious. But thank you guys for stopping by. We will be back here next week because free agency is happening. And hopefully everybody gets what they want. I don't know what Brandon Beane's gonna do, but we will be back here to talk about it. And this has been Tea Time with Robyn. I am T. She is Robyn. We are on the Build in Buffalo Network. Guys, like always, peace and go Bills. Go Bills.